It is Saturday, 27 July 2024. July 27. And I wanted to talk about it's have started to could see the mosque that's is building now. I was there, and I got the Quran, and those women that was there in the mosque, it was not the mosque. They have a one building before they could use the mosque, and they were these women with dark clothes, black clothes, and they were very evil to me, those women, and now I start to see more and more of this sort of women, and it is wrong to talk about Muslim like one whole group of people, because there is many sort of Muslims, like it is in all religions. There is a different way to see God and see how to prayer and how to talk to God about things and what to do and not to do, and all these rules that come with religions. And it has started to be more and more young, beautiful women, I can tell, but they have black clothes all over the body, and then is it other Muslim women? They have only covering their head or the whole head, but they have modern clothes. They wear long pants, so I can tell there is different Muslims, but what people that is against Muslims, they think about those with full black clothes, and the most of it in 2003, 2002, I got a job, or let me say they picked me, a Muslim family, to work for them, and I live with them, and they were in the top of the Muslims world, and so they have meeting place in their home sometimes, and there was women that had total black. It's only the eyes we could see, and they even have gloves on their hands, so you could only see the skin around the eyes, and they were there was those elite in the top of Muslims. They were thinking and are thinking like that, and there is I talk to Muslims almost every day I'm out, and they don't like these people. They tell me, and they are not with them, and they tell me that in this city there is four mosques, like they are not built like mosques, but they are used like mosques. So they are not with each other. So it isn't. You can't say Muslims, and it means Muslims. That means all the groups of different Muslims, and that is not true to talk like that. Because there is some nice Muslims, but they are almost have the clothes like we have, the Swedish people have. So it's hard to tell that they are Muslims. But when we are talking, they tell me they are Muslims, and then it come to be this. Why I talking about this today is because I have heard it and read it now more often, that the Muslims group is the most arise. The more people be Muslims, and we have that not only in Sweden, it's all over the world. And I, as I am psychologist, that I think about the behavior of people. But and one answer why it's attract young people now, because it's not old people that going into Muslims. It's young people that go in there. And I am thinking about that's how it become after the terror attack, September 11, 2001. There it was going on in the same way that many wanted to be Muslims, and they were talking about Muslims that have done the terrorist attack, and it sounds strange for us that they attract of Muslims more when it's this terror attack and bad things going on, that have that label, that have this, that they are Muslims. But they don't tell so often what sort of Muslim they are that do this terror attack. And So it was the same thing when this in the terror attack, September 11, 2001. It was exactly the same as it is now, that the people join Muslims because it was attacked and people are frightened, and they, why do they go into this kind of religion when they are scared, when they are feel like they are threatened, and in the on the media they say it was Muslims, and people run to Muslims, and that's what we have today. It's because it's when they are scared people. They are scared today because you don't have so much money to buy food anymore. You be poor. You see, you can look into the eyes of to be poor, and I don't remember the word poor. The other word to be in a lifestyle as poor. But people are frightened to starving to death and go away from their home, and they and then it's coming this kind of Muslims, that one sort of Muslims that solve their problems in life by doing drugs or selling drugs, and they go in there and have lots of money in their hands, and they're showing the young people that I'm not worried about money. I have money here. And then they take out Swedish girls into restaurants, and they eat, and they showing that they are very wealthy, and the girls doesn't know where the money is coming from, but I don't think they care about it either. So they be like kidnapped of these men that, and they are nice looking, many of them. They are handsome, and they're coming with beautiful cars, and then they make babies with these young Swedish girls, and they say that they need to be Muslims. Those girls, they want to have in their life to be the mother of their children, that they need to be Muslims. So that is one way into the Muslims world. That first is it they give much and lots of money showing, and so it's a deep natural way is to find out if the man can provide with the money and feed a family and children, and that attract those women that are looking for that. And then is it also in the nature, those that is fighting, they walk in their way to look like success. And that is also something that have with the nature, that is about giving birth to children, and the man should be very strong, full of energy, and could defend his family. And that's also one way why they attract to men that sit in prison and that have violence way to live their life. It's a kind of this deep nature way to find a man for your children. And you know how the nature lie for us, because many of these women that be together with those men that the nature want them to have, they be hit and they be treated very bad of these men. And but it is because they choose after the nature, not after the brain. It's what they feel inside them, that the nature things that take over who they are going to choose as a man. And it doesn't fit into what a real man should be, that take care of his wife and children, that a real man doesn't look in his wife, a real man doesn't hit his woman, a real man showing love for his family. This is the few things that when I stop like this, it's because I feel someone coming in from the spirit world. He's standing in front of me now and have his arms like, so what? In that way. And I talked to him, it's not like in his time, because in his time there was no protection of the home. There were no doors to lock. It needed to be this a kind of man that protects his family. It's not that it's like today that we can have a key and lock us into our home. And the door have nowadays the door is not so protective for us, because he's talking about the threat. It is in telephones. There is showing me this like a gum they place on the wall, and it's be like a bomb, and it's very much talking today about they call in the telephone, and then they want they check out so that it's old people, and they call them, and then they say they have winning on the lottery, and they needed to come into their banks, and then they needed the number for the banks, and old people don't. I think it's most that they be confused that someone called them. I should never have opened my bank ID card for someone, because that's really private. There is no one that should go in so deep into my bank account. Though the bank account I write on my podcast, that belong to the identity of my ID. The card have like it have a name on the bank card. The number I have done there is to find my card, but not to take out any money from the card. And so they try, and because they don't know the real about the bank system in Sweden, and they make this confused, or maybe they threat the women and men also in old age to take out the money for them. And so it's the closed door. It can't be so closed nowadays, because it's another way they're coming in, and it they hear that I be protective when people call me in the telephone, because I am thinking immediately, is it some thieves that want the money from me from my telephone? And but I don't use my telephone so much. in 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 anything. So adapt all the time, and in this, it was this week I got a call, and it was from the taxi. It was a question about how I felt, for how I was thinking how what good, if they did a good job at the taxi. And it took me a while to understand that this is not criminals that call me, and but I heard that he thought that I'd be scared of like thieves, but it come very quickly that I understood that this was, as I say, is it something about my bank? I say to him, and no, it's about the taxi. You're going with the taxi to the hospital, and how you feel like that. But it was sitting in my brain that now it's thieves, and they want to come in to my bank. So it was fun, but I thought it was very good that I immediately was thinking, now they want me to open up my bank account. But it wasn't. So I'm glad that I don't have so much of that. But that is how they can open up the door. There is more than the door you go walking into. And this spirit that is here, it's some. He's showing me a woman with black hair, curly, not small curly, big curly hair, and Munich, that is, I think it's Switzerland he's talking about. Have something with that to do, Switzerland to do. And he said that she need a prayer from you, because something bad is going to happen to her, and she need to get more encouragement and power from you. And there is some other people that follow you that have just now hard with the money, because everything is so expensive. But it's also that they can't stop what they are doing. So because smoking cigarettes and drinking alcoholic, it take much money from you, and that is just not what you should do. But it's almost like the older you go, the more drinking you do. You have the fear of aging, that you're growing old. But that is natural. It's happened to everyone if they continue to live, that we're growing older and the body growing old. And you are scared about this with Alzheimer and dementia and other sickness. And there is not much we can do to prevent it. And it's going worse if you're thinking negative and crying over it, and you're drinking and smoking more than ever because you have fear about it. And you need to place yourself in another mindset, that you try to do something that is more healthy for you. And I have say that many times, that you pick up things of interest you had before, that of some reason you have stopped it. You should start all over again. You start to do those things that you love to do. I know you like to painting, so why don't you start to paint? And you can do much things in your life than to only sit and thinking about these negative things. It is going on just now, pandemic. It's going on, COVID-19. And you knew that because they told us that it will never going away. It will always be there. So now when it's in my city now, when I heard it in the hospital that COVID-19 was on a rise in our city, it's because we have these tourists coming from all over the world that I have talked about, and they have COVID with them. So the best you can do is not to go so close to tourists. You can do other things in life than be where all the tourists are. And it's not scaring. I think it's not scaring because now when I heard about this, that is on its way to come into the city very much, then I stopped to go in downtown now, and I live far away from tourists now, and I can stay where I am in my area and not go down to downtown anymore. this summer at least, so we can prevent it. You don't need to go into the clubs. You don't need to be where all the people are. So it's some way of thinking that God have done this for us to change our way to think about life, what to do in life, that we don't need to be in the crowd. We don't need to be where many people are that we don't know, unknown people, tourist people. So that's what I wanted to tell you, this about the changing, that people going into darkness more and more with those religion that have this darkness, that is not a religion of peace. There is Muslims that is nice Muslims. So you don't need to go to those with black clothes on. So thank you for listening. God bless you.